You could be driving.
Now's the perfect time to discover the Honda Accord at Team Honda. Come experience the perfect blend of style, comfort, and reliability. And right now, get 2.9% financing for 60 months. Save on your new Honda today at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda.
He's ready to leave.
Someone's got gas.
Oh, no, I heard that this morning.
What are you doing? That's
Good morning.
irritating.
It's Friday.
That's more irritating than you say I am. No, it is.
I need a
Wow.
much bigger cup for that.
Clearly, family dynamics. Family Matters here. Welcome
Yeah.
to a new and improved version of Family Matters.
But
yeah.
one thing I like, has anyone actually seen the mug?
Oh,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it makes
Look
an
at
often
that.
appearance here on 90s Now.
That's a good one.
On a
Yes.
scale of 1 to bacon, you are bacon.
I mean,
Who doesn't love the good
does it
bacon?
get any better than that?
That's fresh brewed from Johnny H.
Hebrews. Yeah, over
There you
there.
go.
French drip have you ever heard of percolating a pot of coffee?
I have not. I'm willing to hear this.
No, it's just percolating. You never heard the word
Well, he
percolating?
doesn't drink
yeah.
coffee.
Dripping
I'm not a
Percolating.
coffee
Yeah.
drinker. Yeah.
Dripping hot. Well, what about tea?
Tea. Yeah.
You can
When I,
percolate tea.
during the winter, like if I manage to happen to get sick or
Yeah.
something, yeah, I'll drink my tea then.
Well, what's different now is that you'll experience a South Louisiana winter again. For so long, you were up in North Dakota,
Yeah.
Bismarck, North Dakota, and
Oh,
you
really?
actually had
Yeah, that's
snow.
right.
You
Yeah.
had snow.
But
You're
my
not gonna
first
get
my
that.
first winter up there, I was disappointed it didn't have a white Christmas. My first winter.
No, in Bismarck?
Yeah, that was an unusual year. That was in 2011, but pretty much majority of them after that, yeah.
Huh.
Wow.
That's
and you
interesting.
like the cold.
Well, okay. Now here's the. Yeah, exactly. I just like seasons, and we don't
Yeah.
get a lot of that down here.
Yeah.
Fall is obviously the best. I mean, just fantastic. We love it when it gets. Look, man, as soon as it's 79, you start seeing neighborhoods and burning chimneys.
Yep.
But yes, I do. I appreciate some good weather. I lived up in that part of the world for many, many, many years. I really enjoyed it. I did not enjoy 5-foot snow drifts in my front yard, but. Beyond that, I did enjoy it. There's something to be said for putting
is.
on the coat. And
Did you ever have to
Yeah.
do anything to get out of your garage or your
Oh,
yard?
yes.
Like shovel?
Snowblower,
Really?
shovel,
Yes.
all of it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
After the
Wow.
salt trucks come
I
through.
can't imagine.
Yeah,
Such a different
or
world.
just waiting for them. That was the thing.
Yeah, if they can
'Cause
even get through.
Yeah, because they have to do they do the emergency routes first. They don't do everything. Emergency routes, then they'll do the main highways,
Mm-hmm.
and then residential streets. Those are always
Third.
last.
Yeah.
Third and last.
Meanwhile,
Yeah.
here we shut everything down because we're just not
do.
used to it.
I know.
79.
Truly.
Chimneys burning. Yep.
You're
Yeah,
right. It ain't
yeah.
wrong, man. We'll do whatever. So probably no snow in our
58
near
tomorrow morning,
future.
though? Really?
But yeah, that's the thing. We do have some cool weather on the way.
We do. We'll have some nice little temperatures. We've been falling in the 50s for the past few days. But
Hey, son.
otherwise, yeah, looking
at
great.
that.
Check that out. Look at
I
you.
know,
I wish you could
Henry.
see Johnny right now. We've got a nice sunrise occurring across the capital city region. Look at our Sky 9 camera. We're at 59 degrees right now. Look at that. New Orleans still 71, but all of us are at least 50s and low 60s across our viewing area in South Louisiana. And before you know it, your day planner, eventually we'll see the 70s, then during the afternoon the 80s, and then 90s as well. There is a potential that some of us will at least top out in the low 90s today and into your weekend. Quite the active weekend with the Tigers. This is your homecoming weekend. Homecoming game kickoff tomorrow at 6:30. You'll be likely in the low to mid 80s, but by halftime beyond, you'll be in the 70s. The Jags got to hit the road to Houston tomorrow to play Texas Southern. Kickoffs at 6 o'clock. You'll be in the mid to upper 80s at kickoff. Afterwards, you'll be in the 80s and possibly even in the 70s by the end of the game. Not looking at much activity across the South, just a little bit of shower activity in the eastern parts of Texas and Oklahoma. Rain, unfortunately, impacting some residents who were unfortunately impacted and trying to recover from what was Hurricane Milton. So the Sunshine State, not the sunniest of days in the southern half of it, but the cleanup efforts will continue. But we don't have to worry about anything significant weather-wise as we look at your future cast through the weekend. Nothing but abundant sunshine for not just your Saturday, but pushing into Sunday. Similar weather is going to be the thing. The wind does remain light, and on top of that, we will be having some changes in our weather by the middle of next week. But your weekend outlook is going to call for those above normal temperatures to continue with highs right near 90 degrees across South Louisiana. with a light wind and above normal temperatures continuing as we go into the end of the month. But you'll notice those rain chances pretty much non-existent, folks. There are no mentions of rain anywhere in our extended forecast either, so we're going to be a bit on the drier side for the long term, but a cold front will gradually be pushing through by the middle of the next work week. You'll notice Tuesday, that's where we're near 90 degrees again, but notice that drop in temperatures Wednesday and Thursday. Highs are only going to be in the 70s and lower 80s. That trend does continue into next weekend as well, Johnny, and that means we're going to finally be getting a little bit more of a taste in fall weather, not just in the morning hours, but possibly even into the afternoon as well.
Gotta love it. Thank you so much, Henry. Good morning, everybody. Still, Interstate's looking really, really good, even with a couple of little problem spots. One we keep an eye on. It's going to be at the I-10 East, Perkins Road off-ramp, temporarily blocked. Travel lanes are wide open, no backups. That little truck's been there, and the off-ramp on Perkins at Perkins has been closed most of the morning this morning, but we're not seeing any backup associated with that. In fact, here's the I-10 eastbound traffic flow coming toward the camera at Washington. So right past that's the Dalrymple off-ramp, and then right beyond that is the Perkins Road off-ramp, and that's what we see right here with the Perkins Road off-ramp temporarily blocked with that 18-wheeler there. It looks like it's kind of a car carrier. All right, let's get back to our Zen moment as we get ready to head to break on 9 News Now. You're watching 9 News Now on the Plus. Let's take 3 seconds and kind of zen out. 2, 1.
$7:10 your time right now on a Friday morning. Let's step you through some of the things we're following. Of course, continuing coverage of what's left after Hurricane Milton, right? Just pushing through Florida. What's left of it off into the Atlantic, but my goodness, what it left in its wake, Liz. Just a lot to deal with. Look at the power outages.
Yeah, it's because of the wind that you're seeing there. Just part of that as it moved in. And this morning, you're seeing about 2.4 million customers across Florida dealing without power. And you see some of those, the flashes there, the explosions, some of the transform. Yeah, and tornadoes did move through parts of the eastern side of the state. So linemen are already pre-staged in some of the blue areas, right? They're working to get that power back on and hopefully turn the whole state back in blue. And you can see here, they're working to make sure it's safe in order to do that. But they've got to get through debris, cut through all of that in order to get to those lines. Flooding is another issue there as well.
It's going to be a long road ahead. And here's the thing. It's not just Milton.
No.
2 weeks ago, it was Helene. And it's still Helene. When you go from Florida all the way up into North Carolina, a lot of damage done, a lot of folks still trying to put the pieces together. And so how are we, sometimes it can be difficult to try to find a way to help. Our Matt Venezia was live this morning in Zachary with folks collecting stuff to get up to Asheville, North Carolina.
How about that? If you would like to be a part of that mission, well, the city of Zachary is asking you to donate some of those supplies. Matt has the drop-off locations for you, along with a list of supplies they're looking for. Find his story in the 9 News app, because they want them by Sunday night. The plan is to roll out Monday, so they're really asking you to maybe buy those supplies today, tomorrow, drop them off, and so they can roll out.
Okay, let's get you into South Louisiana as well, continuing South Louisiana. You got the Baton Rouge Fire Department dealing with an early morning house fire. Liz, you can see right there, it displaced 5 folks.
So how can you help? Well, Red Cross probably will be called here to help that family out and figure out what the next steps are. But Baton Rouge Fire Department still working on what may have sparked this fire and investigating that. You can see there, it may look like it's in a bunch of condos or townhomes, so kind of a busy area there. We're going to work to find out the latest information and send you those updates.
You know the name Jamie Thomas, 19 years old, now sitting in jail. He is now arrested and accused in the killing of 55-year-old Marcus Spears.
A number of charges charges, including
Yes.
second-degree murder, illegal carrying of a weapon, possession of a firearm, among other charges. We're working with the law enforcement to find out the latest when he's going to be due back in court here, but this story is shaking the community in many regards.
This is national headlines. Some of these are creating those kinds of headlines. This one, though, another murder investigation, another shooting investigation. Daryl Hamilton, 32 years old, found shot to death here. Actually, he and another man taken to the hospital. That man survived, though the 32-year-old Daryl Hamilton did not. Who pulled the trigger? BRPD would very much like to find out, so make a phone call to Crime Stoppers if you can get them going in the right direction.
You know, BRPD, we say that agency a lot. They're also involved in a lot of domestic violence calls that are made.
Right.
And October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Well, coming up next Tuesday, there's an event called Unmasking Domestic Violence, and the goal is to raise money. And you see some of these ticket prices? Yeah. Well, that's all going back to support the great work that Iris does. We talk about some of their sheltering. They now are going to offer sheltering for families and pets as well. Yeah, that's huge. When you talk about being able to provide support for the whole family, the wraparound services, a lot of the times the victims may not leave because you don't want to leave that family member behind.
Look, you see a lot of gigantic dollar signs,
Sure.
dollar numbers, right? $5, $10, 15, 20, it all adds up. So if you can be a part of this, jump online, find a way to be involved, please.
Please. You know, we're all going to get involved here. Voting, elections are all coming up here. There was a mayoral forum last night. If you'd like to find out the latest and hear from all those candidates, find Riley Kramer's story in the 9 News app as well.
Okay, good looking weekend headed our way. Okay, do what we can for those out to the east and drop off locations, all that stuff. But for us, looking like a solid weekend.
It sure is. We've got great weather, especially for those heading out to Houston for the Jags. They're going to be looking pretty good. LSU, homecoming in town.
Right.
Similar conditions. At least one thing you got to say, nothing can be as bad as it was when we had the 90s.
No.
90s during the one game. So Tigers fans, I know you're already out there, but you're going to be looking good weather-wise. So enjoy it.
Yeah, so you might as well start hydrating now because all the sun symbols, it's going to be a really hot day tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be heating up quite quick.
Homecoming parade later today.
Yeah.
It was. Years ago, you were asking. It was on Saturday morning at 10. And then they moved it to Friday for a number of reasons. But I remember being in it and going down Sorority Road.
Come on.
When I was in radio at WFMF.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
The last time it was ever down
Mixing and
Sorority Road.
stretching on the.
This month at Team Mazda, we're spelling October starting with a 0. That's because you'll find 0% financing on every new 24 and select 25 Mazdas, including the all-new Mazda CX-70. Come experience Mazda and see just how much you'll save at Team Mazda on Airline.